Are my friends there? I'm checking in live from Nashville, Tennessee. I need to see some comments just to make sure you guys are there. Are you alive? Are you feeling well? Yes, here we go. So we're sitting in Nashville, Tennessee, under quarantine. But let me tell you something. Quarantine can't stop country music. Quarantine can't stop a good time. And quarantine damn sure can't stop America. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah from everybody out there right now. Here we go. So this is the John Rich Happy Hour. I'm in a back room of my house, and I hope you like my set. I built it myself. Right over my shoulder here, that's Johnny Cash. Hello, Johnny. Right over my other shoulder here, we got a little Redneck Riviera whiskey, because this is the happy hour. I want to kick this thing off right with a toast. Here's to all the hard-working folks out there who right now don't really know where to go, don't know what to do. But they do know they love their country, and they do know they love their families, and they do know they will persevere, and they will get through this at the end of the day. And in the meantime, we can listen to a little country music and have a little Redneck Riviera whiskey. On the count of three, America, give me a yee-haw. Say 1, 2, 3, yee-haw! Drink her down, drink her down. All right, shall we play some country music, ladies and gentlemen? So I was trying to think about what would be the best song to kick off this John Rich Happy Hour. And I thought, well, the best drinking song I've ever known in my life was recorded in 1964 and written by Roger Miller, who, by the way, might have been the smartest guy ever walked through Nashville, and the craziest too, by the way. Can you imagine Roger Miller in quarantine? Not me. So we're going to kick it off with a little chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Make you wanna holler, howdy-ho. It burns your tummy, don't you know? A chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. 4-H and a FFA. On a field trip to the farm, me and a friend sneaked off behind this big old barn where we uncovered up a covered up moonshine still. And then we drank our fill, and I swallowed it quick. Stop, got 10 by chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Make you wanna holler, howdy-ho. Burns your tummy, don't you know? Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Jukebox and a sawdust floor. Something like I ain't never seen. Heck, I was only going on 15. But with the help of my finagling uncle, I got snuck in. My first taste of sin, I said, let me have a big old sip. I turn a double backflip. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Make you wanna holler, howdy-ho. It burns your tummy, don't you know? Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Grape wine in a mason jar, homemade and brought to school by a friend of mine after class. Me and Jim and this of a fool decide that we drank up what's left. Chug-a-lug, so we helped ourselves. First time for everything. My ears still ring. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Make you wanna holler, howdy-ho. Burns your tummy, don't you know? Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Yeah! God bless Roger Miller. Can I get a hell yeah from my Facebook followers out there? Give me a big old thumbs up. Yeah! I mean, who's singing Roger Miller anymore? This guy. This guy. You can't forget the greatest of all time. The greatest of all time songwriters that walked through Nashville. Man, they said the craziest lyrics you ever heard in your life. And back then, they didn't have iPhones and all that, so they actually acted like what they wanted to act like. Can you imagine if there were iPhones when the outlaw movement was going on? Just ponder on that for a minute. Ponder with me. Can you imagine Chris Christopherson holding up his phone to Willie Nelson going, "Hey, Willie, do that again"? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. I know we got a lot of veterans out there, a lot of active duty military personnel watching. I want to say thank you for your service to our country. And if you know me at all, and I know you do, we appreciate you more than we can ever tell you. And I think one of the great things about country music is that in our genre, our format, we've got a long history of writing songs about our military, writing songs about our country, about how great it is, about the people that work behind all the rest of us to make sure that we keep that American dream alive. And there's this one song I learned when I was probably about seven or 8 years old, living out in Texas. This was my granddaddy's favorite song. 1956, Johnny Horton. Well, in 1814, we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down in mighty Mississippi. Took a little bacon and we took a little beans. Fought the bloody British town in New Orleans. Fired our guns and the British kept coming. Wasn't as many as there was a while ago. Fire once more and they began running down to Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. We fired our cannon till the barrel melted down, so we grabbed an alligator and fought another round. Filled his head with cannonballs, powdered his behind. Then we took the powder off the gator, lost his mind. Fired our guns and the British kept coming. Wasn't as many as there was a while ago. Fired once more and they began running down to Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Y'all sing it. Yeah, they ran through the briars and they ran through the brambles, ran through the bushes where a rabbit wouldn't go. Ran so fast that the hounds couldn't catch him. Down to Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Old Hickory said we could take them by surprise if we didn't fire muskets till we looked them in the eye. Held our fire till we see their faces well. Opened up a squirrel gun, shot them all to hell. Fired our guns and the British kept coming. Wasn't as many as there was a while ago. Fired once more and they began running down to Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Y'all sing it now. Yeah, they ran through the briars and they ran through the brambles, ran through the bushes where a rabbit wouldn't go. Ran so fast that the hounds couldn't catch him. Down to Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. I said down to Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. We got any classic country fans out there? Let me hear from you one time. Yes, the thumbs ups are going crazy. I don't even know what that means, but I think it's a good sign. I think it's a good sign. Oh, man. So, if you came to my house right now, if you walked over here to my house and you said, "Hey, John, I'm at your front door, knock, knock, knock," I'd say, "Oh, come on in, cousin, let me show you around." I'll probably show you some of the stuff in my house. So I'm going to call this segment Stuff in My House. All right? This is going to be a weekly segment. We're going to do this John Rich Happy Hour every single Friday night for a long time. This is called Stuff in My House. Stuff in my house. Well, what do I have? Well, I mean, I got the regular stuff, you know. I got lawn mowers and pickup trucks and whatever. But I got other stuff too. So I got to tell you, if you know me at all, you know I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. I'm such a big Johnny Cash fan that I actually named my son Cash, the first boy, Cash. Ladies, can you imagine meeting a guy named Cash Rich? I mean, thumbs up for that. I mean, this dude is set. Cash Rich. Nice to meet you, Cash. I told my son, I said, "Cash, make sure you always keep your driver's license handy." And he's 10. And he goes, "Driver's license?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, why would I do that?" I said, "Because nobody's going to believe what your name is. And when you walk up and say, 'Hey, darling, I'm Cash,' Cash Rich, you see how that's going to go." That boy's set. So I'm walking around the house and I'm thinking, well, what could I show America tonight? Stuff in my house. And I ran across something that I got my hands on a few years ago and I want to show it to you. I'm going to set the guitar down. Okay, this is something I got my hands on a while back, and honestly, it's one of my most prized possessions. I can't believe it sits in my house, but it does. And I have every episode of it, just like this. But I'm gonna show you this one. I pulled this one out today, and I went, bingo, isn't that something else? Can you guys see what this says right there? You reading that? Yes. The Johnny Cash Show, 1969. What episode? Show number 5. Show number 5. Okay, so if we open this up, let's see what he was doing. Let's see what Johnny Cash was doing, huh? Look at this. Can you even believe that? Can you even believe it? So it looks like the first song he sang in show number 5 in June 19th, 1969, the Johnny Cash Show it was Folsom Prison Blues. It was Folsom Prison Blues! Okay. So, shall we follow Johnny Cash's script for a minute? I think yes. Why wouldn't we? Just so happens. Hell, I can probably pull that one. What do we got? By the way, this old guitar right here, this was the first rhinestone guitar I ever pulled during Big and Rich. So this guitar has been around for a minute. Still sounds pretty good. I hope you guys think so. Johnny Cash, the Johnny Cash Show, April 16th, 1969. Here we're gonna recreate it, live stream during the quarantine. Here we go. I hear that train a-comin', it's rolling around a bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps dragging on. Hey, but that train keeps rolling on down to San Antone. Well, when I was just a baby, my mom told me, son, always be a good boy, don't you ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Hey! And when I see those people moving, I hang my head and cry. Well, I bet there's rich folks eating in a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. But I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. Hey, but those people keep moving, and that's what tortures me. Y'all sing this last verse with me. Well, if they freed me from this prison, if that railroad train was mine, I bet I'd move it on a little farther down the line. Far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. Well, that was fun. And I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. And I let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. A round of applause for Johnny Cash. Oh, right over my shoulder. Yes, sir. Greatest of all time. God bless y'all. Johnny Cash. You should see what else is in my house. You guys would love it. You would love it. Hopefully someday you get to come over, or maybe week by week I'll show you a little bit more of stuff in my house. It's the happy hour. I mean, this is what we've been looking forward to. This is what we've been waiting on. We've been watching the news. We've been looking at our phones and our iPads and our computers. And it's time to just stop doing that for a minute. Other than to look at your phone, iPad, or computer to watch me. Otherwise, you know, what's the point of this whole exercise? But I will hold up my drink right now for a little break from the action. Break from the action. Hold your drink high in the air, because guess what? I'm getting ready to do something I've never done. on the count of three say, "We wish you luck." 1, 2, 3. We wish you luck. Drink her down. By the way, I'm drinking little Granny Rich Reserve. Granny Rich Reserve right there, and there's the gal right there. You see Granny. Now, a lot of people ask me about Granny. They go, "Well, how's Granny doing?" That's one of the biggest questions I get. Well, how's Granny Rich doing? Well, let me tell you how Granny Rich is doing. Granny Rich, 88 years old, running her own business. She's a seamstress. You know, she's the lady in town that hems your blue jeans or fixes your wedding dress. She sews patches on the police uniforms, whatever. Like, she's the all-around alterations lady. She can fix it. Hey, Miss Rich, I need a zipper that's that long. I mean, you wouldn't believe some of the things she gets asked, but however, she pulls it off, you know. Oh, you should see the zippers. I said, oh, I bet. There's some crazy zippers, Granny, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But Granny, I think, has the best outlook of anybody I can possibly talk to. I wish you could all talk to Granny on a regular basis. When you go to Granny Rich and you say, "Granny, how are you doing? And what do you think about all this stuff?" Granny Rich says, well, and she's, of course, got a lit Marlboro Red the whole time, you know. She says, well, I lived through the Great Depression. I lived through the Dust Bowl days out in West Texas. World War II. She goes, I've seen some stuff go down in our country. She says, I think we're going to be okay, but this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. If you want to know what she actually says, she goes, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I think we're going to be okay in the end because we're America. That's what she says, smoking that cigarette. I go, damn right, Granny. Hashtag damn right, Granny. Because she is right. And you know what? She's sitting out there and I said, Granny, do you need anything? I mean, you need some groceries. What do you need? You need some eggs. You need some milk. You need some bread. What do you need? Granny goes, yeah, I'm actually out of a couple of things. I said, okay, well, whatever you need, let me know. I'll go get it for you. She said, can you get me some Pabst Blue Ribbon and Marlboro Reds? Because that's really what I need to get through this right now. I said, you got it. So in her pantry, stacked up, we got some PBR and some Marlboro Reds. And don't you be getting down on Granny. She's 88 years old. There must be something to it, guys. I don't know. Maybe she's just a unicorn, but she's doing pretty good. Still running her own business. So we take care of Granny. I think from her outlook, that should mean a lot to us, you know, to see an American that's been around 88 years. She ain't flipping out. She's still good. She thinks we're going to get through it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try my hand at making a Redneck Riviera Whiskey craft cocktail. Okay? First of all, it's a miracle that you're even seeing me right now because I don't even know how to hit the right button to make this happen. But apparently we pulled it off. But this is the #1 cocktail at the Redneck Riviera Bar down in Nashville. This is the #1. It's called the Saddle Up. Like saddle up my horse and I'm riding to the city. It's that. So it's the Saddle Up. Matter of fact, we make them in batches because people love it so much. So I'm going to walk behind the bar and show you guys how to make a proper, or at least to my level, a proper Saddle Up. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we are behind the bar, and the first thing you're going to want to have here is a little Redneck Riviera whiskey right here. This sucker right here. Now, this bottle's all over the U.S. right now, about 10,000 stores, matter of fact. So it's American blended whiskey. I've always been a Crown Royal guy, as you know. Save a horse, ride a cowboy even says, by the bar, double round of Crown. But that's Canadian blended, and I say we keep it in America, by God. So this is American blended whiskey. So we bring this over here. We're going to slide this over here. Now, this cocktail, it's called the Saddle Up. We serve this down at our bar, and I got to tell you, especially girls, you might want to try this out. So it's very simple. All you need is some peaches, nothing fancy. I mean, it's a little early in the year. We don't have peaches on the tree yet. But you can take some frozen peaches, just like this. You take a few, you throw them down in there. Now, this is a little a pint jar, mason jar, right? I hope nobody's offended by that. Nothing fancy. Hey, it's Redneck Riviera whiskey, right? It's America's whiskey. But I got to muddle this. Now, the first time I was told you got to muddle something, I thought to myself, well, what does that even mean? Muddle it. And there was this British guy. And he walked up to me and he said, John, he actually invented this cocktail. He goes, John, you must muddle the peach. My accent's terrible. I can't even do it. He said, you got to muddle the peach, John. You got to muddle the peach. I said, okay. His name is Stuart Melia. And Stuart, he's a British guy, but he stood in line in immigration to become a citizen of the United States of America. And it took him a very long time. And he had to do all the tests and everything he had to do. And he finally became a citizen about 4 months ago. He's got a website called Britain Cocktails. Go check that out if you want the best cocktails out there. But I went to my buddy Stuart and I said, Stuart, I got this bar downtown in Nashville. What's the best cocktail I could make with Redneck Riviera American Blended Whiskey? And he drank and he went, that's good whiskey. Let's come up with something. And so he comes up with the Saddle Up. So Stuart, thank you very much. So here's what we're going to do. This is all I had. Do you guys see what that is? That is like a Swiss Army knife. Can you see that? A Swiss Army knife of epic proportions, ladies and gentlemen. There's a spoon. There's a spoon on this side. Look at that. I mean, what else do you need in quarantine, huh? A fork and a spoon. We're all good. So I'm going to take the fork and I'm going to muddle up these peaches inside this little old mason jar. All right, we're going to smash these up a little bit. And I told you guys earlier that if you wanted to have the same cocktail I was having, grab yourself some peaches. If you can, frozen peaches are fine. Oh, that's starting to break up a little bit. And some Redneck Riviera whiskey and some lemonade. That's it. There we go. Okay, and so I want to put some ice in that. And some lemonade, and then here we go. We're going to try this out. Now swish it around because you got to do it smart, right? You got to be highfalutin when you do this drink right here. You got to smell it. Smells good. Hey, here's a Saddle Up for America. Redneck Riviera whiskey, a little lemonade, little peach puree muddled up. On the count of 3 to give me a hell yeah. 1, 2, 3. Drink her down. Beautiful. Stuart, thank you so much for that. That is our #1 cocktail down in Nashville at the Redneck Riviera Bar. And I gotta say, listen, I'm going to come back around close because people ask me all the time, they say, how do we find it? How do we find your whiskey? You know, 10% of every bottle that we sell goes back to the Folds of Honor. And Folds of Honor is, I think, the greatest veterans organization in the world. They put kids through college who lost a parent in combat. That's what they do. And Redneck Riviera whiskey, this little bottle, Granny Rich, and this bottle, now paid for over 100 college grants for kids who lost a parent in combat. So I want to thank our retailers. So let me get back a little bit closer. Here's who we got. So people ask me all the time, they go, well, how do I find it, John? Well, in your backyard, in your hometown, if I name a store and you go, oh, I've got one of those, then you probably have it in your backyard. Here we go. Walmart, Publix, Winn-Dixie, Meijer, Jewel Osco, Safeway, Albertsons, Winco, Vaughn's, Save Mart, Schnucks, Benny's, Big Red in Indiana, Rouse's, Louisiana, Specs, Texas, Total Wine, ABC stores, Kroger in Kentucky and Louisiana, Fred Meyer, Hy-Vee, Rayleigh's, Deerberg's, Goody Goody, Payless, Bevmo, and Belmont Liquor. Are you kidding me? So if you add all these stores up, do you realize over 10,000 stores around America now stock Redneck Riviera whiskey? And I just want to say thank you to those retail partners of mine. By golly, you know what's in your backyard. You guys have helped me write those gigantic checks. There's a check right out of frame right now to the Folds of Honor that says $174,514. That was last year's check. So when you pull a bottle of Redneck, by golly, you're making it happen. Are we having a good time so far? I am. I'm having a great time. Having a great time. I mean, I just muddled up a peach, and you know what they say about muddling peaches. Once a peach muddler, always a peach muddler. Huh? I'm a peach muddler from here on out, guys, and happy to be one. So many of my friends in country music, they're in the same boat I'm in, and the same boat you're in. We're all in the same boat right now. And I thought, well, who's somebody that would be cool and fun to bring on the happy hour, the John Rich Happy Hour? And so called this fella up, and he said, man, my internet sucks. I can't connect to anybody. I said, well, we'll try it. And so he told me, he said, hey, I hopscotched my phone to my computer, but I think it's going to work. Now, this guy, I've been listening to him, and so have you, for years and years, man. This guy's brought some of the best rowdy country music that anybody ever brought, and he's my special guest. So I'm going to put him up here right now. This is like some Max Headroom stuff right now going on. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Okay, hang on a minute. Let me bring him up. Here he is. Hold on a minute. Okay, lean up into the camera there, big boy. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Lee Murphy. Hey! How you doing, David Lee?
Man, I'm having fun sitting here listening. I just wanted the canned peaches work in that drink.
Yeah, the canned peaches worked really well, man. I mean, I thought it was, you know, I'm not the best muddler in the world, but you know.
That sounds like a good drink.
Yeah, well, tell us what's going on out there. It looks like you're sitting outside. What's going on?
I'm sitting outside here. It's Friday night. It's happy hour. I'm having fun. I'm in a great mood. I've got my grill. I'm going to light here pretty soon. But I'm just having a great time. I've enjoyed listening to you guys. I've been getting texts all night long from people from all over the country watching the show. And I'm just excited to be here and have somebody to drink with tonight on Friday night.
Well, you look good. I mean, did you shave? Because I talked to you a couple of days ago and you looked a little more scruffy.
I shaved. I'm going full Duck Dynasty right now.
Full Duck Dynasty. Hey, I'm going to knock a couple of these lights off because, you know, this is a one-man show. You're just shining. It's just off the screen. But how's that, guys? Does that look like David Lee to you? Okay. David Lee, what is that sitting behind you, son?
Well, I've got a grill behind me. To my left, I got a little bottle of Granny's here that I'm gonna crack open here in a second.
Well, how's the Granny treating you? You ain't tried it yet?
I haven't tried it yet.
Why is that?
Because I'm saving it for this special moment.
Because you got a lot of self-control. I know that because I personally had that delivered to you yesterday. But
sure.
Are you going to try it right now live on the John Rich Happy Hour?
I'm going to try it right now.
Well, by God, I'm going to have some with you.
I don't have any peaches.
Well, here, I'll give you some. Here you go. Here, lean in. Lean into the camera. Oh, yes. Oh. There you go. Okay.
Here's the Granny. I like Terry.
Here's the Granny.
I love that PBR. That's a great story. To Granny, happy hour.
Cheers to you.
Rich.
That's right. Here's to you, boss. So David Lee,
That's really good, man.
well, I appreciate it. Smooth, right?
I remember when you were. I remember when you were getting ready to make this, and we were sitting over at your house, and we were sampling. I don't know if you remember that. We sampled a couple of different. You were working on getting the formula down just right, and man, that is really good.
Well, good, man. It looks like you're sitting outside. I hear the birds chirping. I see a guitar behind you. Hey, let me ask you this. What's it been like in the past month or so just for you as a picker, as a singer, and how's your life changed here in the last few weeks?
Well, I've been holed up out here at this farm really for the last month or so. All my gigs up until like maybe July have been canceled. And I played the livestock barbecue cook-off out in Houston. And before that, I played the rodeo pre-show in San Antonio. So I've been pretty much just hanging out here at the farm and working on different little projects out here.
Did you ever think that a song like Party Crowd, which was one of your biggest songs, would ever be a virtual party crowd? Like, you ever thought about a virtual party crowd? I know you're looking for me. There I am right there, huh? You ever thought about a virtual party crowd?
Yeah, this is it right here.
It is it, right? Is this the first time you've actually gone like this to America and sang a little bit and hung out a little bit?
This is the very first time I've done this. In fact, I've had friends over the last month or so go, "Have you done the virtual happy hour yet?" And I didn't know what they were talking about. But then you and I were talking the other day about getting together, and literally he was telling you the truth about getting on. This is the first time I've ever done like Facebook or whatever this.
It's Facebook.
Yeah, but what's the thing called? Oh, FaceTime.
Oh, FaceTime, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever done FaceTime.
So here's the thing. So if you're wondering how we're pulling this off, so it's literally me all by myself here at the house, and I put my favorite stuff behind me. I hope it looks okay. I think it does. I think that's pretty good. And I thought, well, how do I get to talk to some of my buddies? Because, how do you even do this stuff anymore? You can't have people coming in your house, setting up links and running cameras. You can't even do that no more. And so I said, well, what if I could FaceTime a few buddies? And I did Cowboy Troy last week, and he was able to connect. And I said, well, what about David Lee Murphy? Because I think that's just one of the coolest dudes ever. This is how we're doing it. So I'm actually FaceTiming David Lee and putting him on the FaceTime here on the iPad. And then we're going through Facebook on top of that. So this is like a three-phase system, man. And I think you look good. Can I get a round of applause for how handsome this man looks right now? I'm just going to tell you, that's one sexy man right there. That is one sexy man. Ladies, yes. David Lee, the thumbs up are going crazy. One sexy man. Hashtag it.
Thanks.
So what rolls through your mind these days when you think about your music and what's coming next? Is your brain still working when it comes to writing a little bit?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't been writing a whole lot the last couple of months. I've just been I've been working on barns and little pet projects that I've got out here at the farm. But I'm kind of itching to start writing songs again. It's good that I have taken off from that respect, just to kind of recharge my batteries.
Yeah.
But,
so you say you're working on a barn. What are you working on with that barn?
That's going to be my party barn, I guess.
Party barn? A party barn?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about the party barn. So tell me about this barn as it sits currently, and what's it going to eventually be?
Well, it's not going to be too fancy in any sense. You're going to get dirty in there, but it's not like a fancy barn, but it's just a regular old pole barn, But I'm just gonna I cleaned it out enough to where you can get in there, and it's kind of cool, So it's gonna be my fun little hangout.
What's gonna be the final result of the barn? Like, what's your wild dream about how that barn's gonna look?
I mean, if you can just imagine, probably something like the Duck Dynasty guys would hang out in. It's just going to be fun. Just some party lights in there and, probably some old refrigerator that barely works, but a pretty good little, something that'll play some Waylon and Willie in there, some Haggard. And
Well, are you going to have a part? I mean, if you're going to go to all that trouble, David Lee, to build a party barn, at some point, are you going to have a party, and who are you going to invite?
We will have to do a remote John Rich happy hour.
Yes.
Just come right out there and do just from the party barn.
Gotta do it. Well, so I see you got a charcoal grill sitting behind you. You gonna cook a little food tonight? What you think about with the grill?
I'm gonna light that thing here pretty soon because if we could stay on all night, I know we would, but I'm going to light that grill because it's Friday night. One of my favorite things to do is sit out here at Friday night. I mean, I just heard, I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear that ambulance or fire truck or whatever it was?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was Big Kenny's horn because that's what, when Big Kenny lays on his horn, it sounds like an ambulance. So people don't know that, but that's how you know it's Big Kenny.
But I'm going to get out here and crank this grill up here pretty soon and grill something.
Well, what are you going to grill? Meat?
I'm either going to grill some hamburgers or I'm going to grill some steaks, yes.
By God. So I think people want to know, what would it be like in David Lee Murphy's backyard? So you're cooking some steaks or some hamburgers or whatever. You got a guitar sitting by. That looks like a nice guitar, by the way. I'm looking at that thing. Does it work? What's it sound like if you pick it up and sing through it?
Let me see what it'll do.
You guys want to hear David Lee sing a little David Lee Murphy song? Yeah?
See, since it's happy hour, I'm going to try some more of this Granny's. I liked it. I like the Granny's.
Yeah, well, everybody likes the Granny Rich Reserve, you know.
This is one I had about maybe a year or two ago. Can you hear that?
Oh, I can hear it, cousin. I can hear it.
She rattled the ass in my plastic cup. I say yes, man, fill her up. Tell me something good that I don't know. Since the world's been kicking my behind, life ain't been a friend of mine. Lately I've been feeling kind of low. And she looked back over her shoulder, pointed at the sign hanging up on the wall. They say everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Nobody's gotta worry about nothing. Don't go getting that panic. It ain't worth spilling your drink. Everything's gonna be alright. So I nodded my head and said that's for sure. Dropped a few bucks in a mason jar. Felt those good old neon vibes on me. And whatever my head was on my back, he jumped on just like that, right into the deep blue sea. And she looked back over her shoulder and pointed at the sign hanging up on the wall. They said everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Nobody's gotta worry about nothing. Don't go getting that panic, but it ain't near as bad as you think.
give it up, give it up. Hey.
What a party.
That's good time, man.
You guys do it right.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You sound great, man. I mean, all this rest, you know, voice is rocking right now.
Thank you, man.
You bet.
It's so cool. It's so cool, man, because I'm sitting out here. It's hard to believe. I'm sitting out here. It's like country boy can't survive world out here. And I'm getting little texts and stuff from people all over the country popping up on my screen, which is just, it's mind-blowing, you know, that we're sitting here talking, doing this, and people all over the country can hang out with us and have a drink on a Friday night at 6 o'clock.
Well, I'll tell you what, there I am. Does it help you to see me for a minute? Yes, sir. We're right here, and drinks up to you. Drinks up to you. Hey, tell me about when you got started in Nashville, man. Because I've always looked at you as like an outsider, like not really somebody that was fitting in with the equation of Nashville. Not unlike a Dwight Yoakam, or hell, Big and Rich for that matter. I mean,
Exactly.
you're kind of one of those outside kind of guys, but you connected. What was that like coming to Nashville with your brand of country music?
It was tough for a long time for me because, what I was doing back in those days. Well, you know, when Dust on the Bottle came out, that was not really what country music was all about. That was a different, you know. Now you think about that and you go, well, that's pretty country. But back in the day, they didn't think that was as country as I did, and but it was kind of tough. But man, I grew up on country music, and I love country music. And like the show we did in Florida that night, you know, with T.G. Shepherd.
Right.
I knew T.G. Shepherd songs backwards and forwards, and I got a great big kick out of hanging out with him that night, and we all got together and partied a little bit that night.
Did we?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds crazy. That doesn't sound like anything like us.
Well,
Hey, do you remember that one time in Australia? Now, this is the way a good story starts. Do you remember that one time in Australia, David Lee? Big and Rich, we were having our first tour through Australia, and I got the word that you were also down there. Now, you got to remember, guys, it's 12 hours difference in time. So if you're down there for like 5 days, good luck. I mean, there's no way to catch up on anything. You might as well just roll with it. And I remember we finished a show at about midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning down there. And I was like, it's the middle of the afternoon where I come from. I mean, I ain't going to sleep. So I stayed up all night. And then I heard David Lee Murphy was playing a concert a few hundred miles away. And I got a helicopter and flew over there and landed backstage. Do you remember when you turned around and saw me standing over there?
I do remember. That was a great, fun surprise. That was a blast, man.
Oh, that was a surprise, all right. Yeah, that was a big surprise.
When you're in Australia, I mean, and I love Australia. I love going down there to play. The people are just fun as can be, and they party. But I vividly remember that day. We were in the Hunter Valley. That's what that area was called. And that was a fun trip.
Yes, it was. Listen, I got to ask you because I would call you a straight-up country boy, a long-haired country boy. Leave this long-haired country boy alone, right? You're a straight-up country boy.
That's right.
So I just thought, it's time to bust it up a little bit for America. It's Friday, and I guess a weekend is a little different than it used to be, but what if we told some stupid redneck jokes? Would that be okay with you?
Yeah.
Would that be all right? I'm gonna scoot you back. I mean, this is like the country Max Headroom right now. So David Lee, I was sifting through social media, and I said, hey, give me your best redneck joke. And I saw a couple come through there, and I went, that's actually funny and true. Which, by the way, when it's true, that's when it's really funny. So So the first one I saw, it said, David Lee, what's the difference between a southern zoo and a northern zoo? A southern zoo has a picture of the animal on the front of the cage. And a southern zoo has a recipe attached to it, huh? Yeah. Oh, hit the symbol. Hit the symbol. Oh, is there a symbol in here? David Lee, I have a symbol. I have a symbol. I asked these guys, I said, guys, I mean, how are you dating nowadays? Have you thought about this, David Lee? How are people able to date right now? I mean, how do you go out with a girl? How do you go out with a guy? How are you supposed to do that? You're in quarantine. This has got to be a killer on the love lives out there, right? Wouldn't you agree?
It's got to be rough.
Oh, it's got to be terrible. So if you're going to sling a pickup line, it better be a humdinger, son. I mean, it better be the one that counts. And so my two favorite Redneck Riviera pickup lines of the week. Number one, darling, your eyes are so blue, they remind me of window cleaner. Oh! Okay, all right. He's laughing. Yeah. Hey, that might get her done. I don't know, it might. But if that doesn't get it done, if that line does not close the deal, David Lee, you've always got this one. This was sent in from Ames, Iowa. Darling, you know we were supposed to be together. That's why God gave us the same parents. Oh! Oh! Okay. What?
Oh man, those are some good.
What do you think?
Yeah, those are.
Yeah.
classics.
Well, give me your comments going forward. David Lee, did those work for you?
Yeah, they're perfect.
Yeah, they worked. They absolutely did. So I thought, it might be good to highlight some people in our country right now. We call them the Redneck Riviera Hero of the Week. There's all kinds of people around our country right now, healthcare workers and first responders, people you will never know their names, but they're doing the jobs that we need to be done right now. I mean, they are absolutely essential. We won't know their names, but I ran across this video of this young woman, and when I say young, I mean 3 years old young. She's little tiny girl doing something that I thought was one of the most incredible things ever. It was her first time to ever recite this. And I think it's so inspirational to see our young people, our kids, our babies, loving our country and showing patriotism. And, if that don't fire you up, I don't know what will. But anyway, this girl's name is Eden. She's 3 years old. Check this out, guys.
She made it to the flag. You see the flag? I see flag. Say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and America, to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
With liberty and justice for all. David Lee, do you feel it, man? Do you feel it? That's an incredible thing. Hey, that is an incredible thing. I just wanted to share that with you guys because there's so many great things like that happening right now. We gotta pay attention to things like that because guess what? That's the real story. That's the real story. That's what will be left over when all this is done with. You're still going to have patriots. You're still going to have singers like David Lee and myself. Still going to have you. We're still going to be around. We're still going to be okay. And I think that's something to keep in mind. Don't you, David Lee?
For sure.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to sing a couple of songs that go back a bit because, after all, this is a happy hour, and I'm a big fan of the '80s country and the '90s country. Now, I don't know about you, David Lee, but who was one of your favorite, let's go 80s country. Who's one of your favorite 80s country acts?
Oh man, I mean, 80s country. I mean, I guess Waylon and Willie are 70s.
Well, what about Hank Jr.? I mean, Hank Jr. was 80s, right?
Yeah, I love Hank Jr.
So how about this? That hot old summer sun make you beg for your next breath. So you best be on the creek bank, laid in the shade, chewing on a hickory twig. Pass that bottle, I'll have me a swig. I ain't got a lot, but at least I got it made in the state. I'm just laid up here in a country state of mind, catching these fish like they're going out of style, drinking as a homemade wine all the time. And if the sun don't come up tomorrow, yeah, now people, I have had a good time. I'm just laid up here in a country state of mind. You know the rednecks and the preppies, they're at the discos and honky-tonks, somewhere between raising hell and amazing grace. Lord, I know just how they feel. You gotta get up and kick up your heels. Ain't it great to be living in the USA? Come on, David Lee. Yeah, I'm just laid up here in a country state of mind. Yeah, I'm catching these fish like they're going out of style, drinking as a homemade wine all the time. And if the sun don't come up tomorrow, yeah, now people, I have had a good time. I'm just laid up here in a country state of mind. Lord, I'm just laid up here in a country state of mind. Let's yodel, David Lee. Yodelay, oh, lay, oh, lay. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Come on, man. That's pretty good, right?
that's awesome.
Was that not the best era of country music? I think it was.
Man, I tell you what, that whole the 80s run there was amazing. Cause you had all those guys. You had Waylon and Willie, Johnny Paycheck, all those guys running through the 80s. George Jones coming back, doing his thing. I mean,
I don't need your rocking chair. I mean, you know, he was coming. He was still coming with stuff.
I think he stopped loving her today. Was that 1980 or 79?
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, people think that was the '60s, but it wasn't.
He was in his 50s when he did that too, which is hard to believe. But
Hey, do you remember? Hey, David Lee, do you remember this one? I think this is one of the best singers ever walked through Nashville, Marty Raybon. You know, you like Marty Raybon?
yeah.
Okay, so let's try this. One of my favorite songs from the 1990s. Check this out. Just about a mile on the 109, there's a little church sitting back in a pine. I promised that girl she was gonna be mine. I wouldn't be surprised if she was standing there crying. Whoa, whoa, I didn't know a boy that far could go so slow. Whoa, whoa, come on, David Lee, you gotta put your foot down on the floor. Yeah, 'cause we'll be rocking all night, don't you know? You gotta get me to the church on the Cumberland Road. Billy's passed out in the back, but I think he's alive. Bobby's got his head hanging over the side. Me and Bobby doing about 95. What's the matter with you, man? I thought you said you could drive. Whoa, whoa, I didn't know a boy that far could go so slow. Say whoa, on the Cumberland Road. Alright, last verse. Sweeter than the dew on a honeysuckle vine, warmer than the moon on the 4th of July. Cutest little girl that I ever had known, waiting at the church on the Cumberland Road. Whoa, whoa, I didn't know a 4x4 could go so slow. Whoa, whoa, you gotta put your foot down on the floor. Yeah, 'cause we'll be rocking all night, but don't you know you gotta give me to the church on the Cumberland. Yeah, we'll be rocking all night, but don't you know you gotta give me to the church on the Cumberland Road. Yeah, hey. How about that, David Lee? Not bad, huh?
That's awesome.
Oh, it's the
That's
best,
awesome. I
man.
love that song.
Are you kidding me? It's so good. How's everybody doing out there? I haven't read any comments yet. I'm seeing them. Bravo, bravo. Cumberland Road, hell yeah. Hi, David Lee. Hi, David Lee. Thanks, guys. We got a lot of comments coming in right now, man.
Tell everybody I said thanks for typing in. And
Well, you know what? You can tell them. I'm going to pick you up and get you closer. Hold on a minute. So it's a one-man show. We're not allowed to have any help. So I'm going to put David Lee right up in the screen. David Lee, what would you like to say to everybody?
thank you guys for partying with us on Friday night. It's happy hour, and I am happy just to be here. So, thanks for joining us.
And you look sexy.
I love you. Love all you guys.
Hey, look, I can make David Lee spin around in circles. Look at that. Look at that.
I'm going to fall out of my chair in a second.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the second time. Hey, that'd be a good song title. Wouldn't be the second time. All right, we're going to do one more song. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're going to do this again next week. But next week, it's going to be a little different. Because it's going to be the John Rich Happy Hour. It's going to be at 6 o'clock Central. It's going to be on the Big and Rich Facebook page. But it's going to be Ladies' Night. It's going to be all about the ladies. It's going to be all about the ladies. And my guest is going to be Dina Carter. Okay? We're going to do a little strawberry wine. A little Did I Shave My Legs for This? She's going to be here virtually and going to be singing to you as well. So make sure you tune in next week. And I wanted to tell you one last thing. We are going to give on redneckriviera.com, once this is over with tonight, and you're sitting there on your computer or your phone, go to redneckriviera.com. You can find a store near you that sells Redneck Riviera whiskey, so you can be prepared for next week's happy hour. And all of the merchandise, all the Redneck Riviera ball caps and t-shirts and everything, 20% off for the whole week. So go check out the website and put your good stuff on, and we'll make it happen. Now, David Lee, I got to play one last song. You ready?
Let's hear it.
So this is a song that I wrote for America. I was sitting here at the house and I thought, well, can I write a public service announcement for America? Is it possible? Maybe. And I went back into my archives in my head and think about Mel Tillis and Roger Miller and Ray Stevens and guys like that. I thought, what would those guys write if they were stuck in quarantine right now? And this song popped in my mind. I'll end with this tonight. Thank you guys for being on the John Rich Happy Hour. Hope you had a good time. Muddle those peaches, guys. Muddle them up, man. You're going to love it. A little song called Stay Home. Stay home. Stay home. No reason in the world for you to roam. We're all in this together. No, friend, you ain't alone. All you gotta do is stay home. We're all about half crazy. Kids are bouncing off the wall. Yoga's done got canceled. Mama's pacing down the hall. Homeschool's now in session and I'm pulling out my hair. It's halfway through the morning, I'm still in my underwear. Stay home. Stay home. Sing it now. No reason in the world for you to roam. pureed the skin plumb off my hands. If y'all know what I mean, I know without a doubt my hands have never been so clean. The shelves are bare and empty, 'cause some people just don't care. Got one roll of toilet paper and I'm down to my last square. Stay home, stay home. No reason in the world for you to roam. We're on in this together. No, friend, you ain't alone. All you gotta do is stay home. We'll get through this together. No, friend, you ain't alone. All you gotta do is stay home. God bless you, America. I'm John Rich and my good buddy David Lee Murphy. On behalf of both of us, God bless you. We'll see you next Friday night, 6 o'clock Central, for the John Rich Happy Hour. Have a great week, folks. Can I get a hell yeah, David Lee?
Hell yeah.
God bless y'all. Thank you. Salute.